Okay, so I just finished the Automatron DLC for Fallout 4, and I wanted to give my thoughts on it, and just a general summary of what you can do and get in the DLC. Just a quick heads up, you're going to need to be level 15 for this quest to actually show up in your quest log. So to actually start this DLC and actually begin doing the robot crafting, you're going to need to open up your Pip-Boy, and you should have a quest in there called Mechanical Menace, which involves you listening to a radio station and then going to help out the robot called Ada, who's getting attacked by a bunch of hostile robots. And once you've cleared them all out, then you can actually start the DLC and actually get the item which you need to build the actual robot crafting station in the settlements. The actual quest line doesn't really take that long, but the main part of this DLC is definitely the robot crafting. That's what I got the most fun out of this DLC anyway. The quest line was good. I mean, it was the same sort of quality as your typical Fallout 4 side quests, but the robot crafting is really what made this DLC something good, in my opinion anyway.
You'll need help if you want to succeed.
I'm aware of this. You have shown willingness to aid others. I ask that you please assist me in stopping this mechanist. In return, I can give you the schematics to build your own robot workbench, so you have additional resources in this undertaking.
There's a few little things with the crafting that I didn't actually know until I actually got into the crafting and started doing it. There's a few perks you actually need. I think there's Robotics Expert. You need Blacksmith for some of the melee weapon upgrades for the robots. You need Armorer, which I already had, and the Gunsmith one, and then also Science, I think. But the ones I didn't have was the Robotics Expert and Blacksmith. So obviously the quest leveled me up so I could get them, but just be aware that when you start this DLC, you might need a lot of perks in them to actually get some of the really high-tech mods on your robots. What I thought was actually really fun about this DLC was the fact that you could craft all of the robot mods for your actual robots, but you can also, when you kill the mechanist robots, you actually get the actual parts from them. You can pick up a sentry chest or sentry legs off of different robots, and then instead of actually using your parts, you can actually just attach the robot mod onto your thing and don't have to use any of your precious adhesive that you get or whatever. Okay, so the thing is, the quest line isn't really that long, but the robot crafting is what seems like they wanted to do with this. Have loads of different options for changing out robots and having different parts and making all sorts of different robots. But the thing is, since the quest line isn't really that long, the robot crafting is what actually holds it together and what makes it, I guess, a long DLC. But the thing is, when you get to the end of it, it gives you all of the parts anyway. So you end up just making all the robots you want, and then it doesn't really hold your attention that long. You play through the quest line, you do the robot crafting, but then it still doesn't really last that long. See, the robot crafting is really fun. It's just, will it hold your attention for that long? There is a really cool thing you can do in it, is the fact that you can actually get Codsworth or Curie or any robots that you have companions. I think they're the only two robot companions, and actually you can actually modify them and make them more OP, and you can make your own automatrons as well, and obviously you can make Ada better and make her look cooler as well. But I think the fact that you can just get the companion robot that was already in the game and make him look better is quite a cool thing with this DLC. It's a cool thing they added that, not just so you have the default Codsworth around with all these high-tech robots. I'm just going to come back to the length and sort of, is it worth it? Is it worth it for how long the DLC is, and is the DLC good enough for how much it costs? Well, the DLC is only £8 or $10. So yeah, I think it is. The robot crafting adds quite a lot, and it just seems like it was already in the game, with all the weapon modding and the armor crafting and the settlement system. It seems like that could have been in the game from the start, and it just works really well. And I mean, £8 or $10 isn't really that much for what this is, really. I mean, there's a lot of other games I can think of that, from the same amount of money, have hardly anything in them. We've got these microtransactions that give you a hat for £4. It's I can get 2 hats for the price of this quest line and crafting system in a game. It's just, yeah, I think it was worth it. The quest line was about 2 to 4 hours, I think, maybe 2 hours. It's just because I was doing a lot of stuff with the robot crafting. It seemed like a bit longer than that. The thing is, once I finished this DLC, I was hoping that this DLC would have made me want to play some more Fallout again, like maybe start a new character, play it a lot more, because I haven't played it in months, and this is the only thing that's really got me back into it. I was hoping that it could maybe, I don't know, just relight something where I could just want to play it more again, but I don't think it did really. Like, I'm hoping that the survival mode and even the Far Harbor DLC that comes out in May will hopefully just make me want to play this game a bit more, because this DLC didn't really do it for me. It was fun while it lasted. The Robocrafting was good. The quest was good enough for what I wanted, really, but it didn't really make me want to play it any more than that. After the DLC was finished, I was kind of done with it, and it's just, I don't know, I didn't really want that to happen when I played this. And I guess that leads on to, like, whether you want to get this DLC or get the season pass. Now it's like a higher price. Well, if you are expecting like a normal Fallout DLC, like a big new area to explore, like what Far Harbor's been said to be, then if you haven't got the season pass, don't buy this then, just wait for that maybe. I mean, if you want something little and more little extra things like this, maybe you should buy the season pass, because I'm pretty sure they're doing a lot more. But if this isn't your fancy, I'd maybe just buy Far Harbor by itself. But then again, the season pass might come with more big DLCs like Far Harbor, so it's definitely worth the price, I think. Like, even if when they raise the price. There is a lot of new stuff they actually added by the end of this quest line that you can get, which is really quite cool actually. I wasn't expecting them to add like stuff like this, but there's I think there's two weapons you can get. There might be more, I'm not sure, but I only found two. There's the Tesla rifle, which you can modify in like a workbench. I think you can make it like a charging, you can make it like a scatter or whatnot, but then you can get the Assaultron head, which you can't modify. But if you tap the reload, it would like charge it up, and then you can just shoot like an Assaultron beam, like the robots do. But it irradiates you, so it's a bit. There's also new armor. There's the robot armor, which comes in like the sturdy robot armor, the heavy robot armor, and there's also a sentry. I think there's a sentry head, which you can put on, and they're all you can get upgrades for in the armor workbench and whatnot. By the end of the DLC as well, you can also get like a mini settlement of sorts, like a little workshop settlement which you can build stuff in. It's indoors, but it's quite cool actually. I wasn't expecting them to actually do that with this DLC, but you can actually get like a mini little settlement which you can use stuff in and whatnot. Obviously they've added the Robo Brain robots back in because they weren't in from the start, and also a lot of people have been thinking that you can actually get an iBot for a companion like Automatron follower, but you actually can't. By the end of the DLC you get schematics for an iBot pod, which isn't actually like a companion, so you're not going to have Eddie going around with you, but it's like it's a terminal which you can build in your settlements, which actually lets you send off iBots and actually you can pick what thing you want to get them, so you can either pick ammo or a certain specific like part, like adhesive or ceramic, and they'll go out and go find that for you, and they won't actually bring it back though. That's what I found was a bit annoying about it. They actually just find it and mark it on your map with like a quest icon, and then you have to go get it, and then you can recall them and ask them to get you other stuff like that. So if you think you like the robot crafting and you want this extra side quest, I mean, it's not really that much money, and it is good. I think the quest line was good enough. Like, the end wasn't really that satisfying, but it got the job done, I think. If you want to wait for the bigger DLC, then I guess just wait for that. But if you think this looks quite cool and the robot crafting's up your alley, I mean, why not? I mean, it's not that much money, really. Before I end this video, I just want to just point out that I did have quite a big negative with this DLC. That isn't really to do with the quality of it, but more towards the bugs. I had a lot of bugs with Ada and different parts on her. Like, the sentry legs made her go around, like, teleporting to different places and getting under certain objects and floors and going through walls and above ceilings and stuff. I just wanted to sort of show that, because that was quite a big negative for me, because it was quite distracting when I was just doing the quest line. Like, she was moving around like crazy. So
these robots tend to travel in groups, so you're likely to encounter heavy resistance.
Scan this. Over here. Over here. Open this.